Let's finish the year strong. Hey ladies, I'm back and this is the Mamas in Control podcast. I'm Heather Chauvin and we have a few weeks left of 2021. It's go time. So every single day you're going to hear a podcast from me. This podcast are tips, tricks, strategies, clips from inside of our mastery and our mastery business coaching experience. We talk about parenting. We talk about emotional health. We talk about managing our energy and our time. But more importantly, this is about how we show up in the world. We all know who we want to become. We know what we don't want in our lives. Therefore, we know what we do want in our lives. And sometimes figuring that out, that's where the magic happens. When we know how to master our fear, master our guilt, master our resistance, and not push through it. This is not about burnout. It's not about hustling. This is about showing up, shifting our identity and showing up in a way that feels aligned and alive with the life that we want to be living. Whether it's at home or in your career, you could work in corporate, you could be a business owner, whoever you are in the world, you are ready to make a bigger impact. You are ready to feel alive. So if you are somebody who's been following me for a while and waiting until we open the doors to our coaching programs, now is the time. We are doing our interviews for 2022 start dates. So head on over to heatherchauvin.com/mastery. Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/mastery. And if you are interested in our mastery business coaching experience, this is for women, professional women who are either trying to leave corporate and want to market their skills. You are a badass and you know you're good at it, but you just have no idea how to do marketing or sales. Check out our mastery business experience. That's Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/business. And maybe you have no desire to start a business, or maybe you don't own a business and you are just incredibly overwhelmed and you have no idea where to start. And the thought of entering a longer term program, whether it's 8 months with a big investment, feels really overwhelming to you. That's why this year we decided to open the doors for the first time ever publicly for our Mastery Jumpstart experience. This is a 2-month container of space helping you start to get the engine going, creating that momentum for you. So you get everything that we give our students inside of our mastery experience. You get a mentor, you get access to me, you get the modules, you get the live calls. And it's only 2 months, which means it's a fraction of the investment as well. So if you've been hanging out a while and you've been wanting to work with me, but you're like, holy crap, how am I going to make this happen? Now is the time. But here's the trick. The doors do close at the end of December, and we will not be opening them again for Mastery Jumpstart until the spring. So now is the time to join us and book that call. So head on over to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/mastery. You have one life and so many opportunities to change the trajectory of how you feel and what your future looks like. Now is the time to take that action. heatherchauvin.com/mastery. Do not pass up this opportunity. Once the doors are closed, they will be closed until the spring. All right, let's dive into today's podcast.
So all of us walk around with a lot of different labels. And these are just some of the labels that I have for myself. I'm a mom. I did homeschooling. I was a kayak guide, a naturalist. I'm a podcaster, I'm a boat captain, ski mountaineer, rock climber, family lady, environmentalist, bike racer. All these labels that I use to define myself. But what I really want to ask us to consider is, who am I without all these labels? And who am I without all these stories of who I am supposed to be And when I truly, truly, truly let go of all those labels and all those stories, I'm at my core, at my center. And that's when I feel like I am just joy. I am so connected to myself, to spirit, to the flow of who I am meant to be in this world. And all those stories don't matter. And I can just be myself. I don't have to pretend to be another person. I can just be me. And I love it when I'm in that space. And sometimes I am not in that space. And that is okay as well. So Heather talks a lot about this cycle of beliefs lead to thoughts, thoughts lead to our emotions, and emotions lead to our actions. So a lot of us are familiar with this cycle. A belief, there's really no new thoughts. They're all recycled. So if you've ever had a thought of, I'm not worthy, or I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough money, or why doesn't anybody listen to me, or on and on and on, I like to think about the fact that I am connected to a universe of people who have also had these thoughts. And oftentimes these hard thoughts come up when we don't want to feel a fill in the blank emotion. Like when you don't want to feel grief, thoughts come in because they're trying to protect you. So what if these feelings are just information? They're just ways of sounding off like a little alarm clock saying, hey, you're caught in a dream. You're caught in a non-truth. So when a bad feeling comes up, that feeling that you don't want to feel comes up, what if that's just a little alarm clock saying, oh, there's something going on? And really, if we can start thinking of these emotions, these hard emotions as little gifts from the universe, from those around us that say, hey, you're caught in a dream. You're living in a story that isn't true for you. So when you unwrap that gift, what's at the heart? So the work helps us to identify what are the emotions that I'm afraid of experiencing, and allows us some space to experience it in a safe and contained way so that we can move forward with more freedom and more processing of those emotions. So the 4 questions that we begin with really help you to see, feel, and understand your reaction to a thought without avoiding it. And so that's where you're experiencing those emotions. You're seeing the pathway of thoughts and what happens. And it gives you the space to experience a contrast of not having that thought. So there's a question in there that says, who would you be without that thought? All that is an opportunity to just explore and see what happens when I take that thought out of me and it's not a part of me anymore. Like, who am I without it? And it oftentimes will show you just how much contrast there is in the story that you're telling yourself. And then the turnarounds, as I mentioned, are really about altering your perspective and assertively casting doubt on your initial belief. So when you begin to look for the evidence of additional ways of thinking, you are then able to see, oh, wow, I might still have that belief, but there's a whole other slew of ways to frame it or think about it as I am moving forward. So when they attack you and you notice that you love them with all your heart, that's when you know your work is done. Just imagine that. Somebody screaming and yelling, throwing a temper tantrum, attacking, and you're staying calm, you're staying centered, and you say, I love you, and you really mean it. That's when you know your work is done. And at the end of the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, there's this question. The last turnaround is a little different. You say, I'm willing to experience this, whatever your initial thought was, again, or I look forward to experiencing this thought again. I'm willing to experience the abusive dynamic of my mother-in-law again. I look forward to that. And when you can truly say that and know that it is true for you, that's when you know your work is done and you have fully accepted and integrated that situation. So typically there's a couple different worksheets that we work with. This is the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. And we use those when we're in a situation and we're trying to identify what are the beliefs and thoughts that have been coming up. And today I want to explore the one belief at a time. So the one belief at a time, you still anchor into a situation, but it allows you to look at what are the beliefs that are coming up more frequently for you, and how are those beliefs really, really affecting you? So it guides you a little bit deeper into exploration.
Hi there, my name's Sherilyn. I'm a lawyer and the mother of 2 boys. I first heard about Heather and her story from On Boys podcast and quickly started listening to Heather's podcast and realized that I wanted to learn more and more about what she was teaching. I joined Mastery Business because I knew I needed to do something, and I knew that the thing I needed to do was figure out how to get unstuck, and that Heather could help me do that. The main thing that has changed for me since I began Mastery Business a couple of months ago is that when things look difficult and I think that a change might be impossible, I just say to myself, how can I? How can I? How can I? Heather's program doesn't tell you what to do. Heather's program makes you get out of your own way and stop making excuses, and it holds you accountable for actually doing that. So you actually have to take action. Heather, thank you so much for telling your story, writing your book, having your podcast, and creating this community. It is really making a difference in so many lives.
Well, that's it. And I wanted to thank you for listening today because I truly believe you are exactly where you need to be. And now I have a favor to ask. In exchange for the value you've gained from this free podcast, I'd be forever grateful if you would leave us a review on iTunes. Share the show with at least one woman in your life who you feel would benefit, and or take a screenshot and share it on social media. And always feel free to tag me at Heather Chauvin. The world does not benefit from your guilt and fatigue. The world needs more women who are willing to unlearn everything they've been taught. Women who are courageous enough to feel good and not let guilt run the show. I believe you are that courageous woman. To see if my community and coaching is the right fit for you and your big vision, the relationships you desire, the money, time, energy that you know deep down you are capable of creating, then head on over to heatherchauvin.com/work with me. That's Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/work with me, and take the next step in the right direction. Taking a stand for how you feel means you are taking a stand for how your children show up as adults. And if you have a personal question or topic you'd like me to answer on the podcast, text me 313-710-5199. 313-710-5199. You are so worthy of feeling good. Now go do some scary shit.